y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrones y presidente de esta mejor cerveza. No abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito Sandiaguito, not with us today. Will the Thrill Clark, not with us today. But he will be with us tomorrow for Deuces Wild. Regardless, each and every single morning that we come on, we of course come on here and we celebrate our boys properly along with each and every one of you. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks. When we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning on the July 29th date is a Monday today. A lot happening in the world of sports. The Olympics are firing. And we have some things that we will dive into, including the rugby. Golly, I've really enjoyed watching the Rugby Sevens, I think it's called. The U.S. women that look dominant, and France ended up taking home their first gold medal. A huge upset over Fiji. So the trade deadline, folks, is looming. And the big question is, who will be on the move? The one that I think most Giants fans are interested in is Blake Snell. They have a fucking really difficult decision on their hands. We will dive into that and see if we can come up with a solution that I think ultimately would best benefit the Gigantes. As for now, let's not forget our title sponsor, Bet Online. It is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything in online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit and bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One. You name it, they got a line for it. Bet Online has every stat, matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Nothing like live betting. When the game's over, head on over to the online casino, if you would like, and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BLEAV, capital BLEAV. And that is where you will get your 50% off your first deposit. Bet Online. The game starts here. Okay, let's get right into it because Blake Snell is absolutely on fire. He struck out 15 fucking guys in 6 innings the other day. So here are the Giants in a really difficult spot because they're a couple games under 500. They've been playing their best baseball. They've won 4 in a row now. The last few have been against the Rockies, so I don't know how deeply we can look into that. But I think there's a lot of things that are promising about what they've been doing. So the article here says the O's reportedly joined the Yankees, the Padres, and the Cubs in pursuit of Snell. With a 53-55 record and just a 20.1% chance of making the postseason per Fangraphs playoffs odds, the Giants are looking like a trade deadline seller. And an unlikely name on San Francisco's roster has emerged as the most popular candidate. That's right. So according to Andrew Baggerly of The Athletic, Snell has been drawing significant trade interest. MLB Network's insider John Heyman reports that at least 6 teams have shown interest in Snell. That includes the Yankees, who were linked to Snell in free agency this past winter, and The Padres, Snell's former team. The Cubs, who make the surprising move to trade for Isaac Paredes on Sunday, are also in the mix for Snell. Another potential Snell suitor emerged on Monday morning with Heyman reporting that the Orioles have checked in with the Giants about the left-hander. Who's not going to check in with the Giants, though? Right? I mean, if you're in contention, which is over half the league, yeah, I'm going to see if I can add an ace lefty that all of a sudden is finding his fucking groove here in the second half of the season who didn't have any spring training. And the question is going to be, what kind of haul can the Giants get back? It says less than 3 weeks ago, a Snell trade would have seemed highly unlikely. Although Snell is a two-time Cy Young Award winner, he had a 9.51 ERA over his first 6 starts this season and spent time on the injured list with a left adductor strain and a left groin strain. With the way he is performing, it was hard to see any team taking on his contract, which guarantees him $30 million in 2025, but also gives him the ability to opt out after the season. But since returning from the latter injury on July 9th, Snell has been nearly unhittable. He had a historic 15 strikeout performance on Saturday. The left-hander has posted a .75 ERA with 30 strikeouts over 24 innings. Okay, look, if I'm the Giants, the market is going to dictate whether or not we sell Snell. That's it. We will let the Yankees, the Cubs, the O's, the Pods determine whether or not we move him. Because the odds are the odds. They have a 20% chance of making the playoffs. But let's not forget, the Giants should have him after this season. I don't see Snell opting out. I just don't see it. So, long as that is the case, you do know you have him for the rest of this year to help you make your playoff push. And you have him all of next year. That's why you fucking signed him. But if there is a team out there, specifically, I think it would make the most sense for a team like the Padres, a team like the O's, a team like the Yankees. And if they're willing to give up prospects and take on the entire fucking contract, yes. See ya. Make sense? If I'm going to get a haul in return for Blake Snell, his ass, see ya. God. But if I'm not going to get much or anything for him, and they're just going to take on the contract, I'm good. I like the contract too. We'll keep him. The Giants are pretty much in the same fucking position that the Cubs are in. And yet you have the Cubs saying, no, give me him. They want to win. Well, guess what? The Giants want to fucking win too. So, all this being said, if I'm the Giants and I'm Farhan and I'm the ownership group, I am highly considering moving them. I am. But if there is no offer that is going to make my organization better, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it just to save money. They don't give a shit. Look, the owners of that team very rarely, if ever, take any sort of dividends. Like all the money that the Giants earn, they put back in the team. So they don't care, right? The business is running itself. This isn't like, oh, all of a sudden my dividend checks are going to go down because we decided to keep Snell on. No. That's just not how it works. 50% of all revenue, at least, goes back into the players. So they've properly budgeted for Snell. Remember, even with signing the Korean outfielder, they ended up not signing Ohtani, but they were going to come up with a scratch to be able to do that too. This is not a team, an organization that is hurting for money. So this is going to be very interesting to see what happens with Snell down the stretch. Okay, a couple other things that I wanted to get to. One of them here, this is an interesting article. The Olympics is firing out in Paris. I really enjoy it. I do. I didn't sit down for hours last night watching it, this or that, but I certainly was paying attention. I watched the 400 individual medley, the swim race. I was watching the butterfly. I think it was the two Americans that ended up finishing 1-2, gold, silver. And it was the one chick that just missed out getting on the podium in the last Olympics, and she ends up winning gold this time. Just super cool. I like the stories that are involved. I love watching Ahmed Fareed, former colleague of mine at MLB Network. Just a lot to love about the Olympics, the spirit of the game, just everything, playing for something that is a little bit, not a little bit, a lot bigger than you. That's the beauty of the Olympics. So one of the things here, I read this morning, and I think I need a little more context before I really make my opinion on this. It says Olympics broadcaster drops commentator after outrageous sexist remark. An Olympics broadcaster has dropped one of its commentators after a sexist remark made during commentary of the swimming competition in Paris. Eurosport has removed veteran commentator Bob Ballard from its roster, quote, with immediate effect after the comment made during Saturday night's coverage. The comment came after Molly O'Callaghan, Shinak Jack, Emma McKeon, and Meg Harris won gold for Australia in the women's 4x100 freestyle relay. Ballard was heard saying on the broadcast, quote, well, the women just finishing up. You know what women are like, hanging around, doing their makeup. British swimmer Lizzie Simmons, who was alongside Ballard on commentary, labeled the comments outrageous. The clip was shared on social media and drew heavy criticism before Eurosport made the decision to drop Ballard on Sunday. A statement from the broadcaster said during a segment of Eurosport's coverage last night, commentator Bob Ballard made an inappropriate comment. To that end, he has been removed from our commentary roster with immediate effect. Ballard, a veteran of a number of Olympic Games and high-profile sporting events, later insisted he never intended to upset or belittle anyone. In a statement posted on X, he said, the comments I made during the Australian freestyle relay victory ceremony on Sunday have caused some offense. It was never my intention to upset or belittle anyone. And if I did, I apologize. I am a massive advocate of women's sport. I shall miss the European team dearly and wish them all the best for the rest of the Olympics. The gold was a fourth consecutive title in the event for Australia, with McKinnon winning a national record, 6 Olympic gold in the process. Okay. Like I said, I need a little more context as to how he said it. Because part of me looks at this, if you just look at the surface comments, and let's just say we're live on No Filter, and we're waiting to interview the Australian 4x100 freestyle team, but they're not there yet. So you're like, hey, well, you know how women can be sometimes. They like to fix themselves up, and whether you say makeup or not, like they like to fix themselves up and be chit-chatting along the way and taking their time. Is it that outrageous? Is it? To the point where you're going to pull the guy off the broadcast and basically he loses his fucking job? Really? Seriously? Because women like to make themselves up? Because they potentially like to take their time and conversate on the way to doing an interview. And again, I'm not positive about all this and how it was said. But to me, this looks a whole lot like fucking cancel culture. And I understand, I guess, how and why someone might be like, oh, geez, Bob, like a little over the top, huh? If he said it in a non-playful manner, but just to say something as if women like to take care of themselves. Fuck, men like to take care of themselves. I like to take care of myself. You see the swimmers after they get done. I thought about this last night. They're in the most vulnerable position, right? You're basically naked out there. If you're a dude, you got a Speedo, covering your crotch, and that's it. The chicks with the swimsuits, like, okay, whatever. Like, there's just, if I'm going to go do an interview and you have the goggle, like, crease thing around your eyes, and I'm looking at all the athletes that have the cupping things, and it's not a big deal to me. This is No Filter fucking network. But if you're going to do an interview and you're this world champion swimmer that just won a gold medal, why not go look good? Why not take a minute to at least let the lines that have been compressed because my goggles are on so fucking tight, like, I don't know, fill out? Why is it that that's such a bad thing? And why is it that those comments were so outrageous? I don't know. I would have said the same thing if it was bad, if it was a dude. Hey, those swimmers, they like to come out, but because he said women, is that the big deal? I mean, would this be more politically correct if we had that dude swimmer swimming with the women? I don't know. Yeah. It's obviously a very sensitive topic. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to me. Okay. Here's something interesting about the Olympics. How much money does a USA athlete make for winning an Olympic gold, silver, and bronze medal? The 2024 Paris Olympics will bring together some of the top athletes in the world to contend in various games, vying for the gold, silver, and bronze medals in all competitions. However, you have to assume that money is involved for prizes outside of the famous Olympic medals. How much do these athletes actually make? Well, for Team USA, NASDAQ Brad Turtle reports that the U.S. Olympic, Paralympic, and Paralympic Committee's Operation Gold Program makes payments of, drumroll please, $37,500. That's not bad. It goes to each Team USA athlete for winning an Olympic gold medal, plus $22,500 for silver and $15,000 for bronze. The Olympic medals themselves gain their value more on their merit instead of on their materials. As Tuttle points out, that they go for far more at an auction than they would at material value. However, other athletes around the world might make even more money than the United States. NASDAQ reports programs in other countries offer even bigger payouts. Gold medal winners from Hong Kong, Singapore, or Taiwan receive the equivalent of more than $600,000 a piece. Holy shit, man. Really? Oh, U.S. athletes are getting fucked. 600 grand for a gold. I gotta believe, especially here in the United States, you win gold, a lot of times that comes with crazy endorsement opportunities. So just the fact that the U.S. is giving something is great. Double thumbs up. 37 grand isn't anything to slouch about. But the fact that athletes from Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan receive 600 fucking grand? U.S. athletes are getting fucked. Wow. But they don't have nearly as many as, obviously, the U.S., who's leading once again in the medal count. By the way, yesterday, Xavier Edwards is the second Marlins player ever to hit for the cycle. Miami's Xavier Edwards became the second Marlins player ever to hit for the cycle on Sunday in a loss to the Brewers. The Miami Marlins waited 3 decades before having a player hit for the cycle in a game. Now they've had cycles in back-to-back seasons. Xavier Edwards became the second Marlins player to ever hit for the cycle on Sunday as a rookie reached base in all 5 of his plate appearances and hit his first career homer in a 6-2 loss to the Milwaukee Brewers. He also scored both of Miami's runs. The Marlins had their inaugural season in 1993, but they never had anyone hit for the cycle until Luis Ariz accomplished a feat last season, going 4 for 5 with a pair of RBIs and 8-4 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies in April of 2023. Really cool. Edwards says Luis is the first, and we were teammates for about a month and a half last year. He's a great guy, a great hitter, a great teammate. Really cool to kind of follow in his footsteps and get the second one. Definitely very excited. Grateful for it. Okay, so Xavier Edwards, if you don't know who he is, the dude is fucking fast. Like, really, really fast. So there's a couple things that are wild about this cycle. The first one is that it was his first ever home run in the big leagues. That's right. There's only, I think, 4 or 5 other guys who have done that and hit for the cycle on the same day. So very rare there. Now, what is really crazy is the fact that Xavier Edwards hit a ground ball to fucking shortstop and then ends up beating it out with 2 down in the 9th inning for the infield single, which got him the cycle. I don't think there's another player in baseball who goes home to first in the amount of time that Xavier Edwards did. And I say that because even if you got like Ellie De La Cruz hitting from the left side, he's taken too big of a swing to be able to get out of the box. Edwards knew exactly what he was fucking doing, where you see him just whack, a little slash and go. Again, this was pretty routine to the shortstop, and they still couldn't get him. So, felicidades to Xavier Edwards. Really fucking cool feat, man. Welcome to the club, by the way. I am one of the 300 or 400 dudes that have ever done it. It's always nice when we can bring anything and everything here, of course, back to me. Okay, this is something very interesting, again, as we continue to bounce back and forth between baseball and the Olympics. The pool in Paris is apparently slow. I can't believe this. Is this possible? It says how a slow Paris pool is thwarting swimmers' world record bids. A pool at the Olympics is on the shallow side compared with the past games, which is why the world's top swimmers are struggling to clock rapid times. Does Paris have a slow pool? Hopes of witnessing world records tumble this week are fading fast after 2 days of a relative slowdown across the board. On Sunday night, Adam Petty's 100-meter breaststroke final was the slowest in Olympic waters since Athens in 2004, while Leon Marchand fell 0.45 seconds shy of his world record in a dominant 400-meter individual medley victory in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. That's such a gnarly event, which left everyone suggesting he might have been the first sub-4-minute man in history had it not been for the shallow fucking pool. I mean, how shallow is it? Unseen Marcelin misses mark this week despite being in form. Okay, let's get to it. At 2 meters 2 meters and 15 centimeters deep. I mean, what's a meter? It's like a yard, right? So 6, 7, about 7 feet deep. The competition pool complies with the minimum depth of 2 meters, but it is 85 centimeters shy of the 3 meter standard of the past 4 games and many other events, including a string of world championships. How dare they? Seriously? I mean, don't you think you should just have, if it really does affect the times, that it's got to be a standard 3 meters? Huh. Interesting. Well, whatever. I was thinking about that, though, as you're watching that dude, and I think it was from France, right? Just absolutely slaughter it. And if he was going to break the world record, like this was it. It was happening. And you had that world record line, and he says, I love that world record line. And he just couldn't get it. It was just right in front of him. He just couldn't get it. Well, blame it on the fucking pool makers. Fuck them. Their fault. Bob the cap catcher, though. Have you guys gotten wind of him? This guy is something special. So if your swim cap falls in an Olympic pool, who are you going to call? Bob the cap catcher. The guy who got his nickname during NBC Olympics broadcast was swiftly dubbed one of the early viral sensations of the Paris Games. He sprang to action during the women's 100-meter breaststroke competition to retrieve an errant swim cap belonging to Team USA swimmer Emma Weber. No one could miss the driver on duty, who was clad in a Speedo-style swim brief in a bright floral print. The man was rewarded with cheers from the crowd. Swimming analyst Amy Van Dyken, gold medal winning swimmer, circled his outfit on screen as he retrieved the cap. She said, I mean, look at that right there. Is there anything better on the pool deck other than that Speedo? Van Dyken explained that Olympic swimmers usually wear more than one cap at a time, and actually 2 or 3. Quote, does that guy get a name? NBC commentator Jason Knapp said of the cap retriever. And he then was dubbed the cap catcher. I think that's what we're going to call him. Bob the cap catcher, Van Dyken said. I like that. Elsewhere in Olympic swimming, Morristown, Nick Fink, 31, won a silver. Okay, who cares? Let's talk about Bob the cap catcher. We need more Bob. I mean, this guy is legendary. Just take a good look at him. Yeah, let me see this. Where's the camera here? Epic. I mean, everyone needs Bob the cap catcher around, of course, when the cap flies off. Onward and upward. Brock Purdy has not focused on what he calls nonsense, contract speculation. I mean, I get it. He's going to say that. But at the same time, if you're Brock Purdy, you got to be looking at all the other quarterbacks around you going, what the fuck, man? So the 49er quarterback, Brock Purdy, is focused on the task at hand, winning a Super Bowl, not about his looming contract extension next offseason. He has his eyes on one of, but not the only prize that could be coming his way. In speaking to NFL Network's Omar Ruiz on Saturday at 49ers camp, Purdy was asked about the lucrative contract extensions for Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence. Miami is Tua Tagovailoa. I still can't say his name right. And Tua Tagovailoa, if you look at it, Tua, this is going to turn like a hawk Tua. I'm moving on. This isn't good. And Green Bay's Jordan Love, and how closely he pays attention to those deals, knowing that he is eligible to sign a contract extension in 2025. He says, that's great. I'm happy for those guys. But for me and this team now, man, we've got to focus on 2024. This season is so long, and there's so much stuff that you go through. So to get caught up in what the years can look like down the road or anything like that, to me, that's pretty much nonsense. Focusing one day at a time, I have to get better for the team, and we all do. So that's where my focus is going to be. Lawrence signed a 5-year, $275 million contract. And with Jacksonville earlier this, let's try this again. Lawrence signed a 5-year, $275 million contract, $55 million average annual value with Jacksonville earlier this offseason before both Tua, 4 years, $212 million, $53.1 million average annual value, and Love, 4 years, $220 at $55 million AAV, agreed to lucrative deals with their respective clubs. What might Purdy get this offseason? While ESPN's Bill Barnwell believes if the 49ers quarterback maintains his MVP caliber play in 2024, while factoring in the ballooning quarterback market and an increased salary cap in 2025, the third-year signal caller could make upwards of $65 fucking million per season. That certainly would be a hard number for all of us to ignore. Okay, so if you're Brock Purdy, I get it. You don't want to talk about it. And you don't have to talk, and I would not talk about it publicly. So what I would do, though, is go to Lloyd's of London or one of these other big-time insurance places, and I'd insure your ass. You have to. I got to believe that his agent, he's got the right people in place who are giving him the right advice. But Brock Purdy, who will be playing this season, it looks like, with no deal and no guarantees. So you have no clue if there is some kind of debilitating thing that could happen. You got to insure your ass. You have to do it. If Brock Purdy is healthy, he's going to have another MVP caliber year. This is historically one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game in his first 2 years. Period. That's it. Historically, I think he is the best. Him and Dan Marino are right up there at the very top. So knowing that so long as you stay healthy, the only thing that could really get you is not being healthy. And that's where the insurance comes in. If he has a debilitating injury that disallows him to play football. Now, is it pricey? Fuck yeah, it's going to be really pricey. It's going to be millions that he's going to have to pay in order to insure. I got to believe they could get at least a couple $100 million out of this. At least. So he has an insurance policy that he pays, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20 million to then insure 200 million. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. Although, I will say, I did have an opportunity to get insurance. And it was during the 2007 season. And in my mind, I remember the number. It was stupid. Stupid. Like, I can't support that industry. I can't do it. I don't. It was several $100,000, and I forget what if not. And I take that back. It was more than that. I want to say it was a couple million, and I forget what the number that I was going to insure, and I ended up getting 30 in the contract that I signed with the Diamondbacks. So these talks were happening before that happened, and then we were having these contract talks, and so that was really the thing. But I had like a month and a half to go before the season was going to be out, and at that point, I remember telling Todd the Rock, my financial manager, I said, "Fuck it, I'm good." I said, either I sign the contract with the Giants, or excuse me, not the Giants, with the Diamondbacks, or I go on. But that said, if I'm the one, I'm not the one making the decision here. I'm the one that's dishing out the advice. So I would tell Brock Purdy, make sure you go and get your ass insured. Kevin Durant and the U.S. Hoopsters rolled. They were down early to Serbia. And I turned on the TV yesterday. It was actually in the men's locker room. And the game was on, and they got down out of like 10-2 early or whatever it was. I'm like, oh, okay, this could be a dogfight. Well, it was not. It was a 110-84 win over Serbia. LeBron James had 21 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. And Kevin Durant, 23 points, 21 in the first half, and he made his first 8 shots. He was absolutely on fire. So you have Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry. All 3 members of the current dream team for U.S. basketball. All 3 guys over the age of 35. I believe LeBron's at 39, Steph is like 36, and Durant's 35. Kevin Durant, though, does not look a day over 54. Not one. Not one day over 50. I mean, it is actually fun watching because it looks like a fucking grandpa out there schooling these young guys. It's pretty cool. So, who cares what he looks like? His game is Trump tight, and the U.S. basketball teams look like they're going to be fucking unstoppable. So many good articles. Let's go one more, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, might as well go one big one. 12 bold predictions. This is on MLB.com for Tuesday's trade deadlines. As prior to the flurry of activity over the past few days, I had planned to use this trade deadline piece to predict Jazz Chisholm Jr. to the Yankees, Isaac Paredes to the Cubs, Carlos Estevez to the Phillies, Zach Eflin and Seranthony Dominguez to the Orioles, Jason Adam to the Padres, and Randy Arozarena and Yimi Garcia to the Mariners, AJ Puck to the D-backs, Jesse Winker and Ryan Stanek to the Mets, Danny Jansen and James Paxton to the Red Sox, and Nick Mears to the Brewers. So all that's already happened. I do like how this guy started the article off that way. It says you'll just have to take my word for it. But because certain general managers had to selfishly jump the gun and improve their teams in days before the deadline, I am left to start from scratch with a new batch of predictions that will be every bit as accurate. Of course they will. Nope, here we go. Okay. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This is bold prediction number 1. According to MLB.com, will go to the Mariners. Woo! Seattle President of Baseball Operations Jerry Dipoto has been feeling the heat after this team with its elite rotation squandered 10-game division lead faster than you could say we're going to win 54% of the time. You just know that Dylan Dipoto is going to go down. He's going to go down swapping. What a great line. Dipoto fucking deals though, man. He is an absolute savage when it comes to trade. So I would not be shocked one bit if that happens. It says Arozarena is already on board. Julio Rodriguez banged up and underperforming, and multiple 33-year-olds named Mitch Garver and Haniger batting around 200. The Mariners still sorely need offense. Okay, number 2. Bold prediction. The Dodgers will land Garrett Crochet and Lane Thomas. Already, obviously, in the World Series are bust mode. The Dodgers are perfectly positioned to not only meet Crochet's extension demands, but schedule him down the stretch so that his innings are manageable going into what matters most to them, October. That will be big. We will see if Crochet gets out of Chicago. The White Sox, by the way, have lost 14 consecutive games. They are chasing down the worst record in Major League history. It has been really difficult to watch. But I was looking at their attendance the other day. They said they had 20,000 people in the stands. I don't know if there were. I don't know if there weren't. But, and again, I don't want to say, hey, look, I told you so. And once they traded Dylan Cease before the season, it wasn't happening for the White Sox this year. And they're getting a lot of guys that just aren't performing well. Simple as that. So Crochet wants fucking out, and he will go somewhere. Tariq Skubal, who is the Cy Young Award favorite. Of course, the left-handed pitcher of the Detroit Tigers It says here he's not going anywhere. But Blake Snell, these are all predictions. This is the next one, is going to the Astros. You want to reach the ALCS in the 8th straight year. Go big or go home, Stros. It's been clear that maintaining their standard of excellence 2025 and beyond is going to be a real challenge for the Astros, who have Alex Bregman, Ryan Presley, Justin Verlander approaching free agency. Plus, Jordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker set to be more expensive. The Snell acquisition will be one last go for it with gusto deadline move and try to push a team past the Mariners for good in the AOS. I don't know. I won't say I don't know if they need them, but obviously anyone could take a pitcher of Snell's caliber. They got a lot of really good shit going right now. So, yeah, one more elite arm, and that would be sick. Okay, the Yankees will land Luis Renfroe and Tanner Scott. The Yanks got all that jazz, but they still need another bat, preferably one who can help them at the black hole, and that has been a third base. A switch-hitting Renfroe is a free agent after the season. He can help the lineup in a lot of ways and help steer the Yankees out of their summer run. All the shit that the Yankees get, and they're still in second place and in playoff position. Like, I just don't get it. The absolute fucking uproar from Yankee fans and around the league of the Yankees suck. The Yankees don't suck. The Yankees are actually pretty fucking good. Haven't been playing their best baseball. It's baseball, though. It's why you play 162 fucking games. That is the truth. The Guardians. We haven't talked enough about them. We really haven't. It says, and this is a bold prediction again, we'll bring back Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham. Though it might not have the cachet of teammate Crochet, Fetty is the better bet to give you length down the stretch, in the Guardians, who have been banged up in their rotation all year and overly reliant on their terrific bullpen, could sure use some of that. Fetty is a great story as a guy who went over to Korea and came back, truly knowing how to command a game, as Cleveland has seen a couple of fruitless efforts against him this season. He's also very affordable and under contract for 2025, and of course the Indians are going to like that. Pham, meanwhile, is purely a rental, which keeps his price tag in check. He brings a right-handed stick, a smart approach, some thump, and a hustle to the lineup that could not only use a jolt with multiple offensive all-stars enduring a midseason slump, but could use another outfield and DH option. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on a sec. It says, editor's note, in a three-way trade, Fetty and Tommy Pham are headed to the Cardinals. Tommy Edman and Michael Kopech are going to the Dodgers, and the White Sox are netting infielder Miguel Vargas and prospects in a deal, a source told MLB.com. Like, this is how quickly shit changes. What the fuck? I can't keep up with it. All right, I'm done. I'm done with these guesses. I really am. I mean, I'll read the rest of them just because. The Orioles will trade for Jack Flaherty and Andrew Chafin. It says I don't know how to say it. Yusei Kikuchi, I do know how to say Kikuchi, will go to the Cardinals. Kyle Quantrill will go to the Twins. I mean, you got to be live and up to date on all this shit. Some of this shit probably has already happened, or they've gone elsewhere. There will be more reliever trades than you want to go, and a bunch of other stuff will happen. Okay. I'm done with that. Let me know when the fucking trades happen, and we're good. Back at you tomorrow. Daily Hustle, as well as Deuces Wild tomorrow night. So, actually, I take that back. Maybe on the Daily Hustle. We will see. But certainly, Deuces Wild tomorrow night. A lot happening. It is the trade deadline. Let's see, what's today? 29th? Yeah, so tomorrow will be the last day before the trade deadline. And then, as far as the games are concerned, today it's the Blue Jays at the Orioles. They're in the bottom of the first right now. They got a doubleheader going on, and it's the Guardians, 63-42, by the way. They're at the Tigers. The Yankees are at the Phillies. Cubs at the Reds. Mariners at the Red Sox. Twinkies at the Mets, the Rangers at the Cardinals, the Pirates at the Astros. This is a big Monday slate. Royals at the White Sox, and the Braves at the Brewers, and Nationals at the D-backs. Giants off today, and then back in action tomorrow. Once again, the series will be the Guardians at the Tigers, Blue Jays at Orioles, Yankees at Phillies. That should be a fun one. Marlins at Rays. Tomorrow, the Yankees-Phillies matchup is Garrett Cole against Aaron Nola. Heck yeah. Marlins at the Rays, the battle in the Sunshine State. The Cubs at the Reds, Mariners at Red Sox, Twins at Mets, Rangers at Cardinals, Pirates at Astros, Royals at White Sox. The Royals are 57 and 49. Could they be adding somebody at the break? The Braves at the Brewers. The Rockies are at the Angels. I mean, that's a rough one right there. Angels 46 and 60. Rockies 38 and 69. The Nationals at the D-backs. The Dodgers at the Padres. And then tomorrow night, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, we will have the live alternative broadcast of the A's at the Giants, the Bay Bridge series that we've all been waiting for. All right. Hope everyone has a great day. A lot of love. See ya.